Greetings and salutations. It's David Duford here at the Ford Insurance Group, where I help agents become top producers in final expense and Medicare, both face-to-face and over the phone. Of course, I have a friend in the business. Mr. Barry is on the line to tell us about some television lead stuff. So Barry, say hello. How you doing today?
Hey, Dave. Always good to see you.
Yeah, same here. So I brought you on because I wanted to kind of get some major questions answered that a lot of newer agents ask. For example, how do you run a successful final expense telesales agency using TV leads? So I was hoping you kind of walk us through the process of what a new agent needs to know in order to leverage the most results out of selling final expense over the phone using our TV lead system. So Barry, why don't you kind of walk us through the little pointers that you've made out
Okay,
for us?
absolutely, Dave. So, obviously, the number one reason that people would even get involved with telesales in the first place is they're looking to be more efficient. Okay, they just don't want to get out in the field and drive all over the place, and I get it. So, if you're going to be efficient and do telesales, you got to do it at the top of your game. Okay, so there's a couple of elements that are really extremely important to really enhance your efficiency and set yourself up for that success. The first situation is actually your equipment. Okay, you need a solid computer. I like Windows versus Macs, but we could work with Macs too. The calls are coming in via a VoIP phone system, which we provide. So you want to make sure that those calls are always as crystal clear as they could be. Because I'm going to tell you, Dave, nothing chips away from that incoming trust that these prospects already come in the door with, because of course they called us, as much as a bad phone line. Okay,
Oh yeah.
so the customer starts to think, is this person offshore? Is this some kind of call center? Okay, so I recommend a fast computer, 1.8 gigahertz speed, 2 gigabytes RAM, Pentium i5 or better. No tablets. I also recommend for efficiency that you have either a second computer to use or a second monitor. Okay. And what I tell people is get a big monitor for all your needs for like your e-apps, your Google searches. We'll talk a little bit later for your FEX toolkit, your pricing, and leave the phone system on the small screen. Okay. And then flip your tabs on a larger screen or on a second computer. Also, I listened to some calls, obviously never during the call, but after the call, just to check and see what people are really talking about and how the calls are going. I find that the headphone set, do not cheap out on your headphones, okay? First of all, I prefer that you use a wired set because you don't have to worry about a Bluetooth lag or dead batteries in the middle of a phone call, which could be a disaster, okay? And really, don't get a cheap set because another thing that's going to chip away at that trust is when they can't understand you or you can't understand them during the conversation and you have to keep asking them, can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? Or they're saying, hey, I can't hear you. And a lot of the agents come in and they have a cheap headset and I listen and I go, listen, you got to upgrade that headset. Just, cost of doing business, set yourself up.
Do you have a headset in mind? Like agents are going to
I
ask, what do
use
you
I
recommend?
use a Plantronics C5220. It's about $90 on Amazon. It's a good headset. It just
And you
makes sure
want
when
one hardwired connected USB connection to the,
hardwired USB, whether it's a USB-A, the traditional USB, or even the USB-C, the little, like the Android phones, like the little oval one. It depends on your computer how many ports you have. Okay.
let me add something to your list here. If you can hardwire your internet connection, also,
You jumped the gun, Dave. Okay.
I just had to mention it since you mentioned hardware this, hardware
Okay.
that. Yeah, I mean, guys, your Wi-Fi can go up and down. And you mentioned something about an investment and hearing is everything. You have to be understood. We reviewed a call today, Barry, a gentleman who was doing very well on the phone, except he had like a 1 second delay. It was terrible. It just sounded bad. The client was a little confused, and you could tell, like you mentioned, like it just sets the whole thing off in the wrong.
Right.
So
Right.
setting this up is critical. So keep going.
Absolutely. So, Dave, let's get into the internet service. Okay. Because we're using VoIP for the phone, we recommend 100 megabytes per second minimum. You go to speedtest.net and you see what your speed is, hardwired when possible. Some people, of course, their router is in a place that's inaccessible for hardwire. So what I tell people is go buy a Wi-Fi range extender, plug that range extender in near your desk, and hardwire into the range extender. It's going to give you the maximum amount of solid Wi-Fi. Also, no streaming while you're working. So don't watch Amazon movie while you're waiting for a call in between calls, because that'll destroy your internet. Keep the kids in your house off the streaming. If you are using Wi-Fi, keep the kids off of it, because it's just going to suck bandwidth. And interesting, use Google Chrome in incognito mode for the phone, for the login to the phone system when appropriate, which is no big deal. Just press that little button and do it in incognito. Okay, it helps. And now we get into to the real meat of the efficiency. The key to being efficient is to reduce your wait time. Okay, and time is money. And if you can reduce the time between your calls, you set yourself up for actually talking to more people in the amount of time you're looking to invest into the program. So I recommend that you don't even think about getting involved with incoming live TV unless you have a minimum of 10 states, of which 2 of them have to be one of these 3, California, Texas, or Florida, which are your 3 high volume states for call flow. It's interesting, California is phenomenal because not only are you getting a lot of calls, but the AP coming out of California is typically higher AP than Alabama.
Everything's more expensive out there after all, right?
You got it. Well, you know what I tell people, the same person who had the same job in California versus, let's say, I use Alabama or Louisiana, may have made twice that much money, and Social Security doesn't care where you live. It all depends on how much you earned in your lifetime. So they may have an $1,800 benefit where someone else has a $900 benefit. I really would prefer people have a minimum of 15 states, okay? And I tell people that the top agents I've met in my life, they all have 20 plus states if they're doing telesales. So that's just a good indicator. Additionally,
why can't explain to the neophytes, the TV leads, why can't you do this business with 6 states?
So we never know from where the next call is coming from. Okay, so when you log in, you basically get in line for a call, incoming call. You're competing against other agents. If they've got 20 states, they're going to get, the calls are coming in. They're going to get a call most likely sooner than you are. Okay. Now, if there's 5 agents logged in and a call comes in from California, and 3 of those agents are eligible to take a call from California, the guy that's been waiting the longest, even if he had 30 states and you have 6, only one of your states is California, he's still going to grab that California state in front of you. Now your wait time is even that much longer because your opportunities to take a call are reduced. Okay, so strictly about efficiency. I've told people you could come in with 1 state, you may wait 3 hours to get a phone call. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay. So besides the states, the other most important thing are the carriers that you need to have, and that's really your job, Dave, with your people. But I call it the Core 4 Plus, the Core 4 Plus. So these are your telesales friendly carriers. You've got Royal Neighbors, Prosperity, Liberty Bankers, Guaranteed Trust Life. That's your Core 4. And then when I say plus, you need 1 GI. So it's AIG is not really conducive because it's an email-driven carrier, and I would say 95% of the people calling in on live TV are not going to be fluid with email. Okay, so you're looking at, I guess, Great Western or a Gerber, something like that. And then I tell people, yeah, you can add in Aetna, Sendo, and/or American Amicable. I think you'd cover basically every single situation that would ever come your way.
Yeah, okay? And we're in such a good place now with carriers on telesales that lots of good options, great pricing, great underwriting. It's not like even 5 years ago where there was barely any activity in telesales for the independent broker. So those are all really good carriers to start with for sure.
Yeah, and I know you're obviously set up well with all of them with a good, good setup. So your people are going to be well taken care of. And finally, for efficiency, you need to be fluid when you're underwriting and pricing. You can't bungle, you can't go, let me look up, and they're waiting while you're funkering with papers. It just doesn't work like that. They expect you to be the expert. That's what you're coming off as. If you're the expert, you know your stuff. What I do is that I provide to all the agents FEX Toolkit. It comes with the platform. Okay. And really, let me just tell you something. The system is just unbelievable. It's quick. It's easy. I tell everyone, practice with it so you're fluid. And I also actually recommend quote when you can using the accident rider if a carrier offers it, because it's really super easy with the FEX toolkit. One of the biggest problems I always have with the accident rider is it's very hard to, on a typical pricing tool, you don't get that information. So you have to look for, you have to go carrier by carrier, or you have to go through paper calculations. With FEX toolkit, if they offer the accident rider, they have the price right then and there. And my line is to the customer would be, and because you qualify for our best plan, in case of an accidental death, any kind of an accident, like a slip or fall or a car accident, your benefits will double. So in offering that, I believe you're adding real value to your customer that your typical agent isn't adding. So when they do pick their coverage amount, their benefit amount, you're going to say, okay, if they agree to 20,000, at that point you say, just remember, in case of an accident, your daughter Susie is going to get $40,000. Now, you and I both know that the odds of the death being an accident are slim, but in their mind, the takeaway is, wow, I have, $40,000 worth of coverage, and it's not something that isn't true, but it's just showing that you're adding additional value to the conversation that the other guy may never have brought up to them. So, and the FEX toolkit, again, it's very efficient. It makes it easy. Use it if you can.
And that's completely free if you're buying leads in our TV lead program. And it's an excellent piece of software. More and more agents every day are telling me how wonderful it is. So that is excellent here. Any more tips, Barry? I think we covered pretty much everything there, didn't we?
Yeah, I just say, listen, if you think you're going to log in for 1 hour, okay, and be successful, it's not going to happen. Okay. I recommend people the investment should be somewhere between, if you want to work part-time, 3 to 4 hours a day. Please plan on investing 3 to 4 hours a day minimum. Okay. The platform is really built around people looking to be using 15 to 20 calls a week minimum. Okay. A full-time guy, I do have some people that are literally on from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. They take a break here and there. They're crushing it. They're getting 6 to 8 calls a day. They're closing, 2+ calls. I mean, it's a tremendous opportunity, really is.
So here's what you can do more if you'd like to learn more how these TV lead programs work with the Ford Insurance Group. So I'm going to leave a couple of links. There's going to be one, I think, above here and then below down here. It's going to take you to a write-up that Barry and I did that give you all the details. If you're new to final expense or you're thinking about doing telesales and you're hearing about how awesome TV leads are, this article is going to do an excellent job better explaining the details, the cost, how it works, et cetera. So check that out. If you want to contact me because you're interested in utilizing TV leads, go ahead and go to davidduford.com/FAQ. I'll kind of give you some overviews of what the next steps would be. And Barry, as always, thanks for being on here and helping us better understand the wonderful world of TV leads.
My pleasure, Dave. Always good to see you.
Thanks, guys. See you around. Bye.